Please welcome to the stage Ikram Kalab and Saray Dance and Arts. please join us in giving a big neighborhood house welcome to tonight's MC, KUOW Soundside host, Libby Denkmann.
Neighborhood Houses, thank you so much. That's the hand mic. Really appreciate you joining us for Neighborhood House's 119th anniversary and our annual What Matters Most reception. Thank you, everybody, and thanks to our wonderful performers with Ikram Warsame and Shiferaw Dance and Arts. I mean, the beauty, precision, everything. Everybody, give them a round of applause. The dance that they performed is known as the Blessing Dance, and it's reserved for performing at the beginning of a ceremony or special occasion as a means to bring blessing, happiness, and prosperity into the space. 2025 marks the 50th anniversary since the Khmer genocide, and this performance is a testament to the resilience of Khmer people and the diaspora that continues to keep the arts alive thousands of miles away from home as children of refugees. Over the years, we've been proud to highlight the many talents of Neighborhood House staff at our events, and tonight is no exception. One of tonight's performers is also a valued team member here at Neighborhood House. Judy Kuhn serves as a community resources manager with the Aging and Disability Services team. Thank you to Judy and her fellow performers, Tita Wagner, Molise Keogh, Donnie Sray Snow, and Darozel Thuik. Thank you, everybody. Give them one more round of applause. My name is Libby Denkmann, as you heard, and I'm really excited to be here as we celebrate again the 119th anniversary of Neighborhood House. For those of you who have attended recent What Matters Most events, you'll know that Angela King, my colleague, is typically hosting these wonderful What Matters Most events, often filling this role of MC, and I'm so happy to be here in her stead because Angela is at a very special event. She has an amazing reason that she couldn't be here tonight. Her grandmother, Private First Class Laura Amelia Bias, was honored last night by Congress. She was a member of the 6888. You might have seen the documentary about them. This is the U.S. Army's 6,888th Central Post Directory Battalion. It's the largest group of Black servicewomen to serve overseas during World War II. Angela's grandmother would have been 102. This was posthumously awarded to her. There were 2 members of this group still here and alive to accept the honor, 2 of them. One was 105 years old. So Angela sends her best, and we send her best to Angela because this is an amazing thing that she got to celebrate her grandmother for. And we do hope that you had a chance to enjoy the pre-program reception, everybody. Met a few neighbors, reconnected with longtime ones, enjoyed music from pianist Ari Peck. Thank you, Ari. Let me get a little cozier with this microphone. Also, I hope that you had a little bit of food from That Brown Girl Cooks. I mean, good stuff. And please, by a show of applause, who took a tour through the program stations? Did you guys get a chance to do that? Yeah? If you got a chance to chat with our amazing staff, you learned more about what they do, maybe even discovered something new about Neighborhood House. A big round of applause to all the staff and volunteers who are here. Now, did you guys get one of these passports? We are, if you filled out your passport, you can turn it in for the prize drawing at the end of the program. Now, in case you didn't turn it in yet, we are going to be able to pass them to the aisle, and they're going to be collected, and the drawing will be later in the program. So there are going to be staff and volunteers. Pass them to the end of the aisle, and folks will come by and pick them up. Remember to fill out that passport. We've also introduced a special raffle this year with prizes, including Alaska Airlines tickets, a signed Ichiro Suzuki baseball, and local sports memorabilia, among other exciting prizes. Tickets were available for purchase during reception. I hope you guys snagged those. We'll be drawing those winners at the end, or I'm sorry, throughout the program. We're going to be drawing those throughout the program. And I guess that's going to happen right now. So we're going to have a drawing in just a second here. I think I see the box coming up. This is very exciting. Okay. The prize is Seattle Brews and Bites basket, thanks to Buna Buna Coffee and Communion Restaurant and Bar. I love both Buna Buna and Communion. Amazing. Okay, so we are drawing 2 of these prizes right now. Okay, Luis Amato. Luis, are you here? Oh, just one. We're just drawing one this time, but we're going to draw more in just a second. So, Luis, if you are here, yes. Okay, excellent. We'll get you that prize at the end of the night. Thank you. There you go. Congratulations, Luis. It's only the start. We're going to have a lot more drawings throughout the rest of the night. We are so honored that you've joined us this evening to learn more about Neighborhood House and how you can engage with us to create opportunities for people who face cultural, language, and systemic barriers to live longer, happier, and healthier lives. Each year, Neighborhood House's programs serve more than 13,000 people from 6,900 households in King County, a majority of whom are Black, Indigenous, or people of color, and immigrants, refugees, and asylum seekers. Neighborhood House opens doors for people of all ages experiencing language, cultural, and systemic barriers to housing, health, education, and economic opportunity. Last year, Neighborhood House distributed 1,800 backpacks with school supplies to youth and children. They supported 1,855 seniors, more than 3,200 individuals with disabilities, and in 2024, 580 HIV, STI screenings were completed. Since 2020, Neighborhood House has connected community members with $8.7 million in rental assistance. And that's just a sampling of what Neighborhood House has achieved. So we have a compelling program for you this evening to help tell the stories behind the numbers. I can't wait for you to hear from our speakers. And an evening like this is not possible without many, many people getting involved. So please join me in thanking all of our amazing volunteers who helped with this event. We could not put on the event without you. Volunteers, could you stand, please? I'm asking you this is a lot. I'm asking for you to stand. Thank you, volunteers. If you don't want to stand, you can give a wave too, that's okay. We also want to acknowledge our elected leaders in the room. You can stand or give a wave. Thank you, elected leaders, for your support. Thank you. I see you back there. Thank you. And finally, we have many Neighborhood House staff joining us today. Neighborhood House staff, wave, raise your hand. Thank you. You are the reason that our mission comes to life every single day. So thank you. Bringing people together across cultures, experiences, and backgrounds is at the heart of what Neighborhood House does best. Thank you for being part of that spirit of connection and community tonight. And now to kick off our evening, I'd like to invite Neighborhood House's immediate past board president and Renton City Council member, Ed Prince, and Policy Council President Ikram Warsame to the stage to welcome you on behalf of the Board of Directors and Policy Council. Ikram and Ed, please come to the stage, and thank you so much.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Ed Prince, Neighborhood House board member and past board president. I've served on the Neighborhood House board for multiple terms, and I keep coming back because One, I believe in the mission, strong family, strong community since 1906. And second, as a Head Start kid myself, I know that the programs that Neighborhood House provides offers real world results for the families that we serve every single day. Over the years, I've been proud to serve alongside so many different board members who've brought their heart, skills, and lived experience to the table. Community is one of Neighborhood House's core values, one that we take seriously. We seek input from community in many ways, from youth participants providing input to guide programming, which is very important, to surveys and focus groups letting us know if our programs meet expectations, to employing staff who are from the communities we serve. One really important example of how we partner with the community we serve is the Head Start Policy Council, to ensure that parents are not just heard, but empowered to shape the early learning programs their children rely on. Neighborhood House. Engage us with the community to find solutions together. Ikram?
Thank you, Ed. Hello, everyone. Hi. My name is Ikram Warsame. I joined the Neighborhood House Policy Council in 2023 when my child became a part of the home visiting program in the same year. As a strong supporter of early childhood education, I can confidently say that Head Start and Early Head Start don't just invest in our children, they invest in parents too, by encouraging us to take on leadership and governance roles within the program. The Policy Council is made up of elected parent representatives from each classroom site that review, advise, communicate, and approve recommendations about the Head Start and Early Head Start programs. Policy Council members have responsibilities that include approving or disapproving procedures for program planning, criteria for enrollment selection, and grant proposals, as well as short and long-term goals that include budgets. Each year, the council members elect a president and vice president, and I'm honored to serve as this year's Policy Council president. For serving as a council member and being a parent myself, my goals have been to share our voices that speak out on behalf of our children, and to share in the ongoing collaborative efforts to constantly create or improve policies that benefit our children. I believe the Policy Council has successfully upheld this mission in the past and will continue to do so in the future.
So I got my start working for a community action agency at the Central Area Motivation Program in 2004. The good work of community action agencies here in King County and across the nation for the last 6 years has been life-changing for so many. Neighborhood House and our fellow community action agencies will continue the work started in 1964 to fight poverty and help individuals and families thrive. But 2025 is no ordinary year, as you all are aware. Executive orders and actions taken by the new presidential administration have had a chilling effect on our communities and on the work done in the work of Neighborhood House. Real-life consequences of these orders are having a negative impact. Many immigrants are fearful to leave their homes. People who have been here in the U.S. for many years have been carrying their documentation for fear of being unprepared if confronted by ICE. Funding has been cut or is in peril. Funding that supports critical programs like Head Start, AmeriCorps, STAP, Medicaid, scientific research, and more. These aren't just headlines, these are lives.
And that's why we're here tonight. Throughout this program, you'll hear how we are standing together with those impacted by these unprecedented actions taken by the federal government. You'll hear joyful stories about successes made possible by all the good people in our community, at Neighborhood House, and right here in this room. Stories that celebrate the progress we've achieved this year, and stories that will warm our hearts and remind us why we're all committed to the community we call Neighborhood House. On behalf of the Policy Council and the Board of Directors, welcome.
Thank you, Ed Prince and Ikram Warsame, for welcoming all of us on behalf of the Neighborhood House volunteer leadership. Your leadership, along with that of your fellow board and policy council members, is greatly appreciated. And if you are currently or have ever been a Neighborhood House board member or policy council member, can you stand so we can recognize you tonight? Thank you. Thank you very much for your service. And we'd now like to take a moment to also recognize our sponsors who are essential to making tonight's event possible. Thank you to everybody listed on this screen right here. Thank you, sponsors. Thanks to these incredible partners. You know, this seems like an opportune time to do another drawing. We got a drawing, yep. We're gonna have 2 drawings this time. I knew there was a double drawing at some point in the night. All right. So, this is a good one. This is, now you guys are gonna laugh at me because I'm not a hockey educated person. Yanni Gorda? Anybody got a hockey pronouncer? Where you're gonna get an autographed Yanni jersey tonight. So here is the drawing, and I'm sure once you get the jersey, you're gonna know how to pronounce his name. Sorry to the Kraken. One for this one. Okay, this is the jersey drawing. I have Lester. It's ticket number 52. Lester? Awesome. Okay, you're gonna get that jersey, Lester. This one I do know how to pronounce. Autographed Ichiro Suzuki baseball, everybody. Thanks to Mill Creek Sports. And by the way, thank you to One Roof Foundation as well. Okay, here's the Ichiro Suzuki baseball drawing. Oh, number, we don't have a name, so you're gonna have to look at your ticket and know if this is your number. Ticket number 23. Does anybody have ticket number 23? Oh, you get the Ichiro Suzuki baseball! Yay! Oh my gosh, congratulations everybody. I had an Ichiro poster on my bedroom wall growing up. Big 2001. Okay, well, thank you everybody, and we're gonna have more drawings, so don't worry if you didn't get a win yet. I'd now like to welcome the Director of Child Development for Neighborhood House, Milian Shiferaw, to the stage. Milian has agreed to sit down with me to talk about his journey with Neighborhood House. I'm going to transfer over to this cozy-looking seat over here while we get started. This is our conversation seat.
Yes. Okay.
Hi, Milian.
Hi, Libby.
Before tonight, we only knew each other through Zoom, so it was really nice to finally meet in person. So let me tell you a little bit more about Milian. He's been supporting Neighborhood House families and children in diverse positions of increasing responsibility for 25 years. Tip of the cap to you, sir. Milian has served as health associate, family support worker, family services manager, family services director, and since 2022 as director of child development. Milian's experiences in early learning are as diverse as they are vast. He's worked in the classroom, cooked meals for the children, facilitated parent leaders at Policy Council, and hired and mentored many staff that have grown into leadership roles both at Neighborhood House and with our partners. Milian holds a BA degree in education from the University of Bahir Dar, Post-baccalaureate certification in cross-cultural issues and teaching English as a second language from Seattle Pacific University, and professional teaching license in Washington. Milian is a native speaker of two widely spoken languages among neighborhood house families, Oromo and Amharic, for which he is also Washington State certified interpreter, a Washington State certified interpreter. And he understands Somali and, Milian, can you help me?
Tigrinya?
Tigrinya.
Yeah.
Understand Somali and Tigrinya languages, which are widely spoken among our families. Thank you for being here, Milian. It's great to, again, sit down with you in person. And, you know, one of the things that we wanted to talk about was your journey here, not just to Neighborhood House, but to the United States. You came to the U.S. in the year 2000 from Ethiopia. How does your experience arriving in the U.S. all those many years ago compare, you think, to what today you see for immigrants coming to the United States? How would you compare it?
Thank you, Libby. Is it good? Can you guys hear me? Yeah. I was not really raising heart for myself. I was trying to show you what 25 years can do to your hair. I was not born like that. I had an afro when I came to
I bet you're getting better every year.
Hair. Yes. I think that's a good question. I think I came here. I think I had about 3 days of 1999. So I came here effectively in year 2000. My experience is similar to many immigrants. We, for generations from many parts of the world, we're usually running away from something. There's, for me, 2000, when late 1990s, early 2000s were a very difficult time for young people, myself in Ethiopia, due to political differences, tribal differences. Government at the time was killing young people in mass. And many of my friends were like for years they were languishing in refugee camps. And I consider myself one of the few ones because I came on a visa here with nothing. Oh, clothes, okay, nothing but clothes on my back. And at times I didn't even know where my next meal will come from. But with help from friends and some community members and family, I made it. Really, for many immigrants, we're just seeking for opportunity and freedom. I was very optimistic. I think a little bit more bordering naivete at that time. I just knew things will be better. I just have to work hard. And I remember that time, and when you asked me to compare this to a time now, the experience of immigrants right now. At that time, there was an election going on, Gore versus Bush. And
hanging chads.
Yes, I remember. So at that time, I did not have work permit. I didn't really care too much about what my status was. I'm in America. It's the land of the free, home of the brave. So the background for me, why that day was special to me, was that when I was in Ethiopia, I couldn't go to a zip code chairman and meet them. But that day, I was so confident that I went to a rally on the Westlake Center. I was so close to the podium, a president of free world, potentially. So I was like, this is it. This is what I'm here for. And right now, 25 years later, I'm a US citizen in good standing. And for the first time, I took a picture of my US passport and carrying it with me because I did not want to be swept up and end up some jail in Louisiana or something like that.
Just in case.
Just in case. And I advise other people the same. It's a different time. It is, but I want that America back. I want it to be 25 years ago when I was not thought of as a criminal, someone that's doing something bad. It's just someone seeking better opportunity for themselves and for their family, instead of someone that's trying to hide. So that's the difference between there and now. Most of the things immigrants are still the same. They're seeking better opportunity. They are optimistic. Yeah.
So optimism is a thread, but at the same time, for your own peace of mind, carrying a document like that, carrying your passport with you, that's a really stark difference.
It is a big difference, and it is happening to some American citizens.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's the reality we live in now, and we don't want that.
Let's talk about Head Start, which is 60 years old this year. I know. Can we clap for Head Start?
You can clap for Head Start.
Yes. So talk to me about what makes Head Start and early Head Start for the younger ones such an important part of Neighborhood House's work with children and families.
Yeah, I think Neighborhood House is a very special place. Since I came, Neighborhood House is like a family to me. I was looking for a job, my first job. By the way, some people think I came here on some H-2-1 visa, that I can't go and work anywhere else. That's not true. I just love Neighborhood House. When I first came in, the way I was treated when I was coming looking for a job, the respect and the reception I got, I saw a lot of people that looked like me, that are very happy to help me, the staff. So I stayed at Neighborhood House after that. So for me, Neighborhood House is a place. We serve a large number of refugees and immigrants, people that didn't speak their second language, people low-income families. I think Neighborhood House is a place a single mother that's looking for a job, or another mother that is worried that he will lose her housing, will go find someone that to speak with her in her language, that will meet her where she needs. That's Neighborhood House. Neighborhood House is a place where families of all background, because our families have a lot of challenges raising children in the new environment. And that is where our families will find someone to talk to and help their child. Neighborhood House is a place where a mother with a child with a disability that she didn't feel confident about taking care of will know that someone will accept her kids the way that child is and work with her and help her child. Neighborhood House is a place where another mother or father that wants to go to work will leave their children with us. Know that their children is kept safe, that someone will be feeding their child and helping their child and partnering with that mother, and if they feel comfortable that her child is actually safe. I think that is Neighborhood House, where we can find a caring staff, a staff that loving staff with a great skill that would help our children.
I know it's really hard to pick just one, but do you have a favorite story about working with a family, working with a child over the years?
Yes, I think this is, there is a lot of stories that I can tell, but there is one story that stuck with me for many, many years. It may have been about 20 years ago, and I was a young family support worker at the time. What we used to do is we go around neighborhoods. It was at High Point, I remember. We knock at doors looking for children.
Knocking door to door?
Knocking door to door. I have knocked every door at High Point, every door. I know that neighborhood in the back of my hand. I can walk blindfolded in that neighborhood. I walked there so many times. We were knocking at doors, and we happened to run into one house. We opened the door, and this child just runs out, darts out of the house. This big, I remember seeing big, black, beautiful black faces and nice hair. It reminds me of when I was a baby. His name is, I think, Mohammed. He runs out of the house, and I couldn't catch him today, but then I caught him, really, and I brought him back. And I, thank God it's not today. But we brought him back to the house, and I talked to the mother, what's up, why is this child running? Oh, no, this child has been here for weeks. Did not know where to go, not who to talk to. So that was what's happening was they just locked the child in the house. And that child is about a couple of blocks from our program, High Point. And sometimes our families, people don't know how far people could be from resources when they're so close. We took them to school, talked to the mother, we bought her an alarm clock to make sure that she knew how to come, when to come to school.
You got her an alarm clock?
Alarm clock. And to remind the mother, these are new to the country and they didn't know that the school. So Mohammed started school, and he was so he was with so many friends. He was so beloved by the teachers. He became a leader. So we bought him some toys that are like zebra and hyena and all the small models, that animals that he's familiar with. And he became a leader. Mohammed was a leader in that classroom. His mom eventually went to English language class, and they found partner, the joy on her. I went back to see Mohammed all the time. So one day, now I was in Oromo language. Zebra is Satawa. So I think I forgot. So I'm a little bit in America. I forgot the name, and I told something else. He said, "Mr. Million, that is Satawa." He was correcting me.
He's schooling you.
He's schooling me. The progress that he made. That's what we do, a job like this. I can tell you many stories like Mohammed.
Good for Mohammed.
Yes.
Good for you. I love that story. Yeah. Can we clap for Mohammed also? So we do have to acknowledge the context in which we're speaking, Milian.
Yep.
This is a time of increasing uncertainty about the future of Head Start. The Trump administration has reportedly considered a budget proposal that would zero out federal Head Start funding. What does that mean for you in terms of planning for the future when there is this federal context happening?
I think it's a genuinely very difficult time. I remember January 28th this year, I woke up in the morning to get an email saying, here's that funding, federal funding, all frozen, payment systems don't work. And
this was a couple months ago?
This is January 28th. Immediately, so what would I do? The thing that came to my mind is, what would we do? What would I tell that mother that sobs, talking to me? Because we were closing classroom at one point because of teacher shortages. She said, I will lose my job. What would I tell her? What would I tell a mother that brought that special need child to me? What would I tell her? What about our staff? They have their own families, their own life to take care of, and with unceremoniously, no warning, no guidance. I really worried. I didn't pray too much, and that day I really prayed for our families, for our children, for our staff. It turns out, government clarified later that Head Start is not included, but it's not going away. It hasn't gone away. It hasn't gone away, and we usually receive. We are in good standing. We have applied for a 5-year grant. We got it. We were awarded the first year. We get it in 2 every year. So we get one that will carry us through June. I should have received that award last week, and I haven't received it.
For the next 6 months?
For the next 6 months.
So you have not received it
still? We haven't received it. We're very hopeful. We expect it. But that's not that. I have to share that with our staff. If you know a little bit of background of our program, past COVID, there is a serious shortage of teachers, and we really turned a corner. We went from like less than 70% retention to being fully staffed. We're feeling good that we can provide services. This year, we haven't closed the classroom once. We're like, yes, because not one day. Because we made a lot of progress. I think my fear now is that our staff, what if we lose our staff that they care about? So they left us frustrated. And getting them back is not easy once we lose them. And the pressure will be to those families that can't go to work now. They can't receive early learning services, and this is not okay. And I think this is a time to stand. Thank you all for coming, for helping, but this is a time to stand with our families that are under attack from, fearing to come to school because of, immigration situation. It's just all out attack, and it's time to stand with us.
Because you're thinking about that child like Muhammad,
Yes.
who needed that service because his mom didn't even know, how to find and connect and get him what he needed to thrive and become that leader.
Absolutely. Our teachers do miracle. I can tell you recently there is a teacher, one of our teachers shared with us, there was a child with disability. That child wouldn't even crawl. And the child, mom brought that to us because she didn't know what to do. And we took the child the way that child is. That child has started crawling, sitting at a table, making friends and eating. And that mother, the gratitude I see on her face. What do I do? What do I do for her? Yeah. So I think that it is very serious, a catastrophic problem. And then there is a plan about zeroing out Head Start for next year. And it's going to be really bad.
I do want to end on a positive note. Yes. We are here because we need to acknowledge, the very serious fiscal issues facing Head Start and all the programs that Neighborhood House provides, but at the same time, it's also a night of joy and a night of celebration. And so before we go, you've done all this mentoring, you've done all of this work with kids and families over the years, and so you're teaching a lot, Milian. You bestow knowledge. What's your favorite moment that you remember of family teaching you something?
I think our families like Ikram that came today, I learned from her. She received a letter from, I don't know if she read some email memo. And she said, Milian, what's happening here? I think what I learned from our families a lot, our families are resilience, no matter what they have been through. They still here. They're raising their kids, their optimism, their community, caring for each other, no matter what. If another person comes in that need help, our families, gratitude that we learn from our families, gratitude. I actually thrive on gratitude, and how many different times our families came to me and told me, thank you. Thank you. They're very grateful, and I learned that. I learned from a family, joy. I went and attended our cultural celebration one time. Our families love celebrating. They're very joyful, and I think I learned that from them. It's very hard. Something very easy to be negative about things, but our families just need a little bit of support, but you learn joy, courage, resilience, whatsoever. I always wonder myself, I just say, hey, Milian, when I'm about to lose hope, when I want to complain, I just say, look at our families and where they came from and what they went through. And they're still here, they're still joyful, they're happy faces. I learned that from our families.
Milian Shiferaw, thank you. That was great. Thank you very much. Milian is just one of many neighborhood house staff dedicated to walking alongside and assisting community members who need support. You had a chance to meet several others during this evening's reception. Neighborhood House has 350 staff, and among them, they speak more than 40 languages. Now, I would like to bring to the stage this evening's keynote speaker, Claudia Castro Luna. Claudia is an Academy of American Poets Poet Laureate Fellow, Washington State Poet Laureate, and Seattle's inaugural Civic Poet from 2015 to 2018. She's the author of Cipota, Under the Moon, and Killing Marias, both shortlisted for the Washington State Book Award in Poetry. She is also the author of One River, 1,000 Voices, and the chapbook, This City. Her most recent nonfiction is There's a Revolution Outside, My Love, Letters from a Crisis and in Memory's Vault, the poetic heart of Fort Worden. Born in El Salvador, Castro Luna lives in English and Spanish, and she writes and teaches in Seattle on unceded Duwamish lands. Please welcome Claudia Castro Luna.
Buenas tardes. Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Libby, thank you for the introduction and for that wonderful conversation with Million. That was just so inspiring. Your personal history, Million, but also the work you have done all these years for Neighborhood House. It is spring. It was a beautiful afternoon. It's time for butterflies. Some of them may be coming out. Some of them will be out very soon. I'm sure some of you have heard of the butterfly effect, which is the idea that small actions, such as flapping of a butterfly's wing, may be the cause of a larger consequence elsewhere. A common example for the concept is that a butterfly flaps its wings in one part of the world and produces a hurricane in another. And we'll come back to this idea later. This is a photo of my family, my mom, my dad, my sister. It was taken from an article in the January 30th, 1981 edition of the Evening Times, a Southern Florida newspaper. The article is about my family's arrival in the US from El Salvador. 13 days earlier, on January 17th, my Aunt Maura, my mother's sister, who had lived in Florida for many years, had picked us up at Miami Airport. The four of us were exhausted and also exhilarated from our trip's ordeal. We had escaped the war that was ripping El Salvador apart and had arrived in Florida safely, but we had left so much behind. El Salvador is now in the news, as you very well know, but for very different reasons. That was the case when my family left. Some of you in the audience may remember the 1980s and the Civil War in El Salvador. It was like the war in Ukraine, essentially. It was everywhere in the news. And you probably may remember the Sanctuary Movement, which was a movement to help Salvadoran immigrants, Central America, Guatemalan immigrants as well, here in the US. Back then in El Salvador, every aspect of our lives was compromised by violence. I witnessed armed fights between guerrillas and government forces on my way to school, saw buses burning up, blocking streets. A house down the street from my own was blown up by the army. Soldiers searched home without warrants, killing and disappearing people. Life was uncertain. Each day we rose with the fear that it might be our last. When we first arrived in the US, we all experienced war withdrawal symptoms. My father slept poorly and suffered from persecution, nightmares. Any sudden noise or movement made us anxious and startled. Our bodies tensed at the sight of anyone in a police uniform. The day the photograph was taken, we marveled at the cheerfulness of the reporter from the Evening Herald. We were still reeling from the sound of ricocheting bullets and spinning helicopter blades. The reporter asked my parents questions while Carmen, my sister, and I sat quietly nearby. And after the interview, the photographer arranged us in the middle of the living room and in a blinding flash captured what the four of us wore on our faces that day. Everyone looked directly at the camera and everyone managed to smile except me. I looked mistrustful and awkward, my hands bent at the wrists and folded into shadow fists. My hands spoke their own truth that day, their inward curling responding to all that we had given up to be in that sunny living room. Ours is an American story like many others. Thousands of people have arrived in the United States holding on to hope, seeking refuge from war and armed conflicts elsewhere in the world. And some of those conflicts have been enabled by the US, and that, I think, is worth saying. Million also talked about the reasons why he emigrated to the United States. This has been part of so many of us who have arrived in the US. In 1906, in El Salvador, Emerita Blanco was born. She went on to have 10 children. The sixth child, a girl, became a teacher, married, and had 2 daughters. I am one of those daughters. The other is my sister Carmen. My parents were both teachers in El Salvador. They believed in the possibility of living in a more just society. They organized to demand better salaries, better schools, less corruption, better health access, housing, and nutrition for their students. For this, they were targeted, alongside hundreds of teachers, dozens of whom were murdered. This is the reason why my family left El Salvador. The same year my grandmother was born, in 1906, here in Seattle, Settlement House was founded by the Seattle chapter of the Council of Jewish Women. Settlement House was a movement that was started in England. Citizens were concerned that capitalism and market forces were leaving many behind and felt that, quote, a sense of the interdependence that exists between all members of society was being lost to the detriment of all. And of course, Settlement House became Neighborhood House. According to Jean Porter Devine, who wrote a historical overview of Neighborhood House, by 1906, Seattle was a buoyant city in a buoyant age when America was a magnet drawing millions of immigrants to its shores. The new immigrants, she wrote, wanted to learn the American way of life, but they were poor, they did not know the language, and they lacked not the will to survive, but the skills to survive. Does it sound familiar? Reading about the history of Neighborhood House has been incredibly inspiring to me as I prepared to put together tonight's talk. One passage in Porter Devine's book stopped me in my tracks. In this passage, Ms. Lori Lancet Goldberg, who was the acting president of the board between 1913 and 1914, made an appeal to expand the facility to meet the growing need for services. She asked her board colleagues, quote, to put on our shoulders to the wheel and do our part so that there may be sufficient funds to start our new home, and so do our duty to these neighborhood children whom we have taken on ourselves the duty to befriend. What stirs me in that quote is the latter part, the understanding that those immigrant children were worthy of being helped, but also the understanding of the mutuality between them. The well-being of the children also meant Seattle's future well-being. After living in Florida for 6 months, my parents decided to move to New Jersey with the help of another one of Mommy's sisters. But New Jersey proved way too cold and inhospitable to us, coming from tropical El Salvador. My parents moved us again, this time to the greater LA area. I completed 11th and 12th grade at Arroyo High School in El Monte. That's the school there. My big dream was to go to college, but I had no idea how to make that happen. I once overheard a classmate say that colleges like to see prospective students participate in extracurricular activities and sports. That fall, I joined the track team. I really had no interest in running, and I had no clue what belonging to the track team entailed. All I knew was that I wanted to go to college and I could run. Midway through my senior year, my counselor brought me into her office. I sat next to her desk in her small, cramped space, and she told me that she didn't think I was college material. My SAT scores were low, she said. I knew that already. I sat for the tests only a few days after recovering from chickenpox. My parents had paid for my exam fee. I had to show up. We had been in the US for only 2.5 years, and my English language skills were not yet there. Decades later, I learned that it takes about 7 years to master a language. Around the same time I met with the counselor, I came across a scholarship opportunity, and I could see by the application's guidelines that I was the type of student the organization offering the scholarship was trying to help. I was hardworking, had a 3.6 GPA, and was involved in sports, student government, and clubs. I also qualified for free and reduced lunch. When other kids made fun of the soggy fries and same old burritos, I inwardly gave thanks. I knew poverty. I ate the cafeteria food with gratitude. My parents protected my sister and I fiercely, but the college application process was beyond what they could do. This was the first time since our arrival when I felt I was on my own. They could not help me. And from our interaction, I guessed my school counselor would not be much help either. I know my parents and I would have loved to have a place in our city like Neighborhood House, a place where we would have felt welcomed, a place where we could have asked for help and not be turned away. Sometimes the caring can help a person find their own way. Overwhelmingly, immigrants, no matter at which point in the history of the US or where they have come from, want to integrate into the new society and be contributing members of their communities. We've heard that already. This can be, Neighborhood House must have hundreds and hundreds of stories, and we know this from our own families' backgrounds. We, as a country now, are at an influx point. And the words of the founders of the settlement movement resonate again. The sense of the interdependence that exists between all members of society is being lost to the detriment of all. Questions arise. Who matters? Who deserves help? Who counts? The answer is that we all do. Every person has an inherent dignity, and dignity means to be able to share our common humanity, to exercise our individual autonomy, and realize our human potential. I did a reading in Spokane once when I was serving as the state's Poet Laureate, and afterwards, a gentleman came over after the reading was over. This was during the time when the images of people walking across Mexico by foot were flooding television screens and phone screens. The man said to me, "All I could think of while you read is how many little Claudias are walking along on foot right now." And I thought to myself, yes, There may be some children and other folks who may be already writers or who could become writers, and also engineers and doctors and scientists and artists. All that talent coming our way, all that energy coming our way. These are uncertain times, to be sure. Hope feels scarce. When our senses of belonging, interdependency, and mutuality is eroded, alienation, silence, and fear are the replacement. I have lived through something similar during the Civil War in El Salvador, and I believe that we can counter this negative force. When the light goes out, we will find light in our hearts. I know that each of us feels in our bones the value of human dignity. And we know that in holding others' dignity, we elevate our own. Coming together in community like we are doing today may seem insignificant, maybe too small a step, but I can assure you that it is not. When I think about the trajectory of my life from an immigrant girl with 3 English words in her pocket, literally, to Poet Laureate of a great state like Washington State, I see all the folks that have stepped up on my journey to lend me a hand. My high school hosted a college fair. A counselor from the university I eventually attended was there. He believed in me and was my support from day one until I graduated from college. And then I went on to obtain 3 different graduate degrees. Thank you. I love school. Any step that moves us in a positive direction is better than no step at all. We know what the flapping of a butterfly's wings can do. We know that seemingly small actions may have huge results. Look at the moment we are in right now. This moment here together, this collision between you and myself began in 1906, when in Seattle, Neighborhood House was born, and when in El Salvador, my grandmother was born. We must hold on to hope. I don't mean by that a passive hope, as something distant over there, yonder, outside of ourselves. I mean a hope that is real and muscular and embodied. A hope that invites us to move in the direction of the society we want to live in. The country of I is reductive. The country of we is expansive and full of possibility, of encounters, of imagination, of beauty, of relationship, of growth. I want to live in the country of we. Join me there. People have moved across land and sea as long as there have been humans on the planet. In recent years, the idea of migration has been represented by butterflies, their beauty, their delicate nature, the ardor of their instinct to survive. I would like to leave us with a quote from somebody who has been in the news quite a bit, especially last week. And the quote begins, "On this day, I would like all of us to hope anew and to revive our trust in others, including those who are different than ourselves or come from distant lands, bringing unfamiliar costumes, ways of life, and ideas." And that is from Pope Francis on Easter Day, just last week. I want to leave you with this image, and I want to invite you to hope and to dwell among the butterflies. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Claudia Castro Luna. Our final speaker of the evening is Neighborhood House's very own Executive Director, Janice Deguchi. Janice has served as the Executive Director of Neighborhood House since 2019. She's a Seattle native and has worked for over 25 years helping people gain access to vocational training, early learning, senior care, and youth mentorship. She's a tireless advocate for early learning and in 2013 was selected as a Parents Map superhero for her advocacy. Janice currently serves on the board of Washington State Community Action Partnership and is co-chair of the Seattle Human Services Coalition Wage Equity Leadership Commission. Welcome, Janice.
Hello. Thank you so much, Libby. Thank you all so much for being here. And wow, such an inspiration, Million and Claudia. I want to live in the country of we, and I want to be that butterfly, one of those butterflies, and it's really so inspirational. Thank you. Huge thank you to Ed Prince and Ikram Warsame for your leadership, your advocacy, and your passion for Neighborhood House. And a huge thank you to Libby Denkmann for pinch hitting for Angela today. Just another shout out to Ikram Kalab and Sri Dance and Arts for showcasing the Khmer culture. And, yay. And the amazing food of that brown girl cooks. And since I am not on top of it to get a reservation at Communion, this is the next best thing. So, also, just a huge shout out. Ari Peck is a 15-year-old sophomore at Chief South International High School. So I hope you enjoyed that amazing talent that Ari showcased tonight. And a huge thank you to the staff and of the town hall. This is an amazing venue, and thank you so much for your support in making this top-notch experience here. And tonight would not be possible without the hard work of our development team, our volunteers, and the staff that staffed all of the registration and information tables. And thank you so much to all of you for being here tonight. I know there are other things, I know it's past your bedtime for some of you, so I really do appreciate that. Let's see. Oh, and a special thanks to our raffle donors. This is the first time we did the raffle, and congratulations to those of you that have already won. I know we're awaiting the Alaska Airlines tickets, and so, yeah, hang on to your tickets. So very grateful for our supporters and for our anonymous donor that is going to be matching donations of $250 and above, up to $25,000. So thank you so much for all of your support. So, over the last few months, people have been asking, how is it going? And like Million likes to tell us, we're a target-rich environment. We are, after all, in Seattle, Washington. We serve immigrants and refugees, and we serve them with programs meant to dismantle racist systems. So, and our sector and our community is under attack. So, yeah, it's going great. Yeah. When Trump signed his first executive order, we had to move some of our programs online because some of our participants were, rightfully so, concerned and afraid for their safety and privacy. We immediately instituted ICE protocols and ordered Know Your Rights cards. And then with no warning, USCIS lengthened the N-400 application for citizenship that required additional information and put up more barriers for eligible people seeking to naturalize. So we worked harder to prepare aspiring citizens to meet the new requirements. And then yay. With cuts to the Social Security Administration, there were fewer people to answer the phones, and our resource navigators have been assisting clients to get organized so that when they are able to get through on the phone calls, they can be more efficient and activate and organize when they make that call, and also helping them set up those online accounts so they can make those in-person appointments. So all of these changes have made us work harder, we work smarter, But what we have not done is did not strip our website of any trace of DEI. Nor did we change what we do or who we serve. Like Milion shared, and I'm sure most of you know, that on Monday, we were informed that AmeriCorps has been terminated, leaving our summer youth tutoring program and our benefits hub that supports college students facing financial hardship in a bind. And then well, for those of you that don't know, about 2/3 of our funding does come from the federal sources. And a couple of weeks ago, we found out that the Trump administration zeroed out Head Start. They zeroed out Community Services Block Grant. They zeroed out the Low-Income Heating and Assistance Program. They zeroed out the Aging Disability Resource Center. And they zeroed out the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Administration, the agency that funds a lot of our prevention and outreach work. These tactics are meant to scare us. And to be honest, we're a little scared, but that is not going to stop us. So 2 weeks ago, I had the honor of joining Senator Patty Murray, Secretary of the Department of Children, Youth, and Families, Tana Sen, and the State Health Officer, Dr. Tao Kwan Get, and a terminated federal employee for a press conference to highlight the devastating impacts on our communities if President Trump's proposed 2026 budget is adopted. On Monday, the ACLU of Washington and the Washington State Head Start Association and others filed a lawsuit to stop the Trump administration from dismantling Head Start. Neighborhood House's Head Start and Early Head Start program, the program that Milion leads, serves 429 low-income children prenatal to age 5 with home visiting and in classrooms at 4 locations, including a 5th one that's opening in White Center. May 21st at Cielo Gardens. If you're free, I will be there at 3 o'clock. If you want to have more community and more of this. There are 186 eligible children on our wait list, and about 1/3 of the children that we serve have diagnosed or undiagnosed disabilities. Head Start and Early Head Start supports the whole child, academically, socially, and physically, and the whole family through connections to jobs, housing, and healthcare, and leadership opportunities. If federal funding is cut, it would be devastating, and we would not be able to turn to the state because at the state, the situation is also dire. The legislature passed a budget that will delay expansions of the state-funded early learning program and subsidize childcare for families with low household incomes. And the reason the situation at our state is dire is because Washington is a tax haven like the Cayman Islands, according to Harvard-educated economist Jacob Vigdor. We are 49th out of 50 states in terms of tax fairness, just ahead of Florida. Staff, parents, and board members have advocated for a state budget that doesn't leave anyone behind, that ensures everyone has access to the resources and the support they need. And in the middle of this legislative session, 2 of our most vocal champions for fairness and justice passed away, former Speaker Frank Chop and State Senator Bill Ramos. We mourn their passing and honor them by continuing our advocacy and services to our most marginalized communities. One powerful example of this is our Latinx Dream Coalition, which addresses the health disparities in the Latinx community by engaging Spanish-speaking youth, parents, and the broader community in prevention education. At a recent celebration of our Guiding Good Choices parenting class, a parent shared with one of our staff members. I think we have a couple Latinx Dream Coalition staff members in the room, Lily and Joni, and some other people. Yay. A parent shared at the graduation that our program was a lifeline during a really difficult time. Her child was diagnosed with autism and she was battling depression. But thanks to the program, she learned how to communicate better with her family, hold meaningful family meetings. I don't know how many of you have family meetings, but I think that's what you're supposed to be doing. And regained her confidence. And she said that Neighborhood House wasn't just offering parent tools, it also changed her life. So those of you that know me know that I'm third generation Japanese American. My parents were US citizens, and yet our government removed them and 120,000 other US citizens and permanent residents of Japanese ancestry to American concentration camps during World War II. If you're here tonight, you can probably navigate the world in relative safety. But like me, I'm sure many of you are only 1, 2, or maybe several generations removed from being unsafe, unfree, enslaved, or displaced. Whether right here in the United States, in Ethiopia, in El Salvador, in Cambodia, in Ukraine, in Afghanistan, or in Vietnam. One of our supporters, Amy Nguyen, reminded me that today is also the 50th anniversary of the fall of Saigon. In 1979, large numbers of Vietnamese refugees arrived in the US at temporary resettlement centers. When California Governor Jerry Brown said that he didn't want the refugees resettled in California, Washington Governor Dan Evans was infuriated and asked future Washington State Secretary of State Ralph Monroe, who he also lost this year, to go to Camp Pendleton and invite Vietnamese refugees to settle in Washington. This anniversary is an important reminder that not so long ago, Washington, and indeed the United States, welcomed people leaving their countries, looking for freedom, safety, and opportunity. People like my grandparents, people like Leon and Claudia and Ikram. We welcome people that at great personal risk supported the US military's mission in Afghanistan, that fled the war in Ukraine. And when they got here, who was here to help? Neighborhood House. And we've been here to help since 1906, when our founding mothers from the National Council of Jewish Women established Settlement House to teach women fleeing persecution in Europe sewing so they could earn a living. Let's face it, we're navigating an environment that is hostile to immigrants, to refugees, to low-income people, to unhoused people, to children, to older adults, to people with disabilities, to BIPOC folks, to queer folks, to women. And while there are too many people who are content to impose a personal media blackout, that's okay for like a month, but time to tune back in, or to crawl back into bed, or to resign themselves to what's going on. That's not who we are, or we wouldn't be here tonight. We're the kind of people that stand with our neighbors, that believe that all people deserve dignity, safety, and opportunity. And because we're here tonight, and because we're those kind of people that do something when our neighbors are suffering, I'm going to give you 2 concrete things that will make a difference. The first is to tell your member of Congress to save Head Start. The National Head Start Association has 2 letters, one for Head Start alumni and current or former Head Start parents, and another for everyone else that supports Head Start. The second concrete thing that you can do is to support our hardworking neighbors that are afraid, that are looking for help, our neighbors in search of safety and opportunity. Help us help them access housing, health, education, and economic opportunity. Please help Neighborhood House do what matters most. Thank you.
Thank you, Janice. And seriously, call your member of Congress. Joining me on stage now is somebody that you may have met while touring the program stations. Angel Berry is a youth advocate supervisor with the Neighborhood House Youth and Family Services team. Angel has been with Neighborhood House for nearly 12 years. Welcome, Angel Berry. She's coming, she's coming. I need help with this next part, everybody. I hope everybody is sticking around and feeling generous.
Good evening. How is everybody doing tonight? Y'all still awake? Everybody, y'all all right out there? All right. Thank you guys so much for coming. And it is such a great opportunity, Libby, to be here with you. So for the next few important things I'd like to share with you guys is why I think it is very important for everybody to consider to make a donation this evening. So, like Libby mentioned, my name is Angel Berry, and I have been with Neighborhood House since September 2013. So this September will be 12 years for me. And in that time, I have worked with the youth. Predominantly, a lot of the youth that I work with are disengaged from school. A lot of them may have or are at risk or already involved in the juvenile justice system. So our program works, we're mentors. And so what we do is we work with you to try to get them back engaged in school, try to help them get out of the juvenile justice system, try to close out any probation, court orders that they may have, and help them complete their goal that they want for themselves of graduating high school, getting into college, and creating a life that they feel like is worth living. Because we know that in this day and age, there's a lot of things that our youth go through that we as adults have no idea. A lot of things that they go through, we never went through as kids. And so now we just want to give them a space and an opportunity to be able to grow and to learn in a safe environment. And so that's one of the reasons why I love Neighborhood House and why I've been here so long, is because Neighborhood House really takes the time to hear the voices of the people that we're working with. And it's not, and with our program, it's not that it's us adults coming in and telling kids what to do and how they should live and how they should act. It's more so of us using the youth's voice and choice, and us listening to them and seeing what it is that they want out of life. And then us as mentors, we go out and we help them get to where they want to go. So we've helped kids get internships that are paid. We've had kids get accepted into college. We've had kids close out juvenile justice cases and have never returned. We've helped youth who, may have children, and we've helped them, provide for their families. And so that is one of the things that your donation will help with, not just the youth program, I'm sorry, but all of the things that Million has said, a lot of the things that Janice has spoke about, your donations will go a long, long way. So this is my way of coming in here asking for a little bit of help tonight. Okay.
Take this down. Does that work?
Yeah.
And Angel, we have this big goal that Neighborhood House has set. It's $145,000 to support this life-changing work. Now, I'm happy to share that we have raised $90,000 thanks to sponsorships, ticket sales, and early donations. Thank you to everybody who helped us get that far. But boy, I look at that thermometer, we got a little ways to go, right? So now is the time to stand with Neighborhood House and help meet this goal today. To help us get to that goal, we're gonna have this match, right, Angel?
We are gonna have this match.
Tell us more about the match.
So the match is, we are asking anyone who is able to give $250. And so if you give $250, our anonymous donor will match that. And so, and if you cannot do the full $250 today, that is totally fine. We could, if you are willing to also, you could vow to donate $21 a month. And
You can break it up.
And break it up,
Break it
exactly,
up.
within the year, for the year. And then that will also, at the end of the year, that will get you to $250, which the donor will also match.
So thank you to our anonymous donor that's giving that $25,000 match. That's amazing. But that means we got to maximize that $25,000.
Exactly.
This
Yes.
is the challenge, is every single time that you are able to donate that $250 level, that is where you trigger the match. Your impact for Neighborhood House is going to be doubled. And again, you can break it up throughout the year. And there are a number of ways to donate tonight. You can go to the screen for more information. Up here, we have this handy dandy QR code. And that way you can pull out your mobile device, get your camera out. You can donate using a credit card. You can also go to Neighborhood House WA, so nhwa.org/donate to find the mobile donation page. You can also look out for the two folks who are here with the Donate Here signs. There they are. Look at those lovely folks. At least one. Do I have a second one? We got a second one coming around soon. Donate Here, lovely people will be able to get you with a credit card reader. So if you got your credit card, that's an easy way to do it. Just go ahead and flag down the Donate Here person. Or you can raise your hand. You can get a remittance envelope if you prefer to do this via check. So if you brought cash or check, there is a remittance envelope available. Please note that there are two options on the mobile donation page. It's a recurring donation charged each month. So like Angel was saying, breaking it up, say that $21 a month level, which means your impact is doubled. You can also make a one-time donation. So make sure you select the option that you would like, and you can see those options along with how to make a mobile donation on the screen right here, nhwa.org/donate, nhwa.org/donate.
And just a quick update, we are currently at $96,105.
All right,
So
making
just a
some
little
progress.
bit longer to go, exactly, a little bit longer.
We love that.
We're almost there.
It's the thing is, you got to get the momentum going. So once your neighbor, you look over and you say, well, my neighbor has a remittance envelope, and maybe I need to get a little movement going. Maybe I go to nhwa.org/donate, or I flag down the Donate Here person in the back. It's a momentum thing as we get going here. And remember, we heard the stories today of the very serious impact of federal uncertainty on what's going on with Neighborhood House, and the incredible stories of impact. So this is the time, again, with that matching donation, to make your dollars double thanks to that anonymous gift. Give now and your impact will be doubled.
And I just also want to just throw out there, within this time of uncertainty, I don't know if a lot of you are aware, but there are a lot of people that are currently struggling with food, with a lot of the COVID dollars are gone. So a lot of people are struggling to pay their rent. And so, which also means that a lot of the kids, even that are in my program, are having a tough time getting and going to school because they have a lot of other things worrying about. How are they going to eat? Where are they going to sleep tonight? We have a lot of kids that are unaccompanied. So a lot of these dollars that you guys will give to us tonight, hopefully, will definitely go to making sure that the kids, the youth that we have in our program, and our families just across the whole agency will have their needs met, because it's hard out here for a lot of folks.
It's hard out here, but I know that we heard these stories of how much community matters and how much coming together as a community can do. Back to Miss Lottie in the early 1900s, you heard, put your shoulder to the wheel. Now is the time truly to put your shoulder to the wheel. We were talking about the ways that Neighborhood House was founded and early classes to help European immigrants coming to this country learning to sew. This is our time right now to help our neighbors, to help people coming to this country, to help people who just need a little bit extra right now. So please, nhwa.org/donate, flag down those envelopes, give generously, open your heart, think about the impact that Neighborhood House has on this community. Put a dollar amount in your head that makes sense for you right now, and please give. Oh, we can do the monthly recurring. Yeah, we talked a little bit about, but Angel, tell me more about the monthly recurring membership.
Well, I sure will. So there is a monthly contribution that you can elect to give into. Or if you want to increase your gift, you can also do that too. A donation of $25 a month is $300 for the year. And $50 a month will also equal up to $600 annually. And so...
And more math.
And more, yeah. And more math that my brain is not able to handle right now.
But the point is that you break it into bite-sized pieces, and that also helps with the reliability of how Neighborhood House can plan for the future. When you give those monthly gifts, they see those membership dollars coming in every single month. And so some of that unreliability that Milian was talking about, that Janice was talking about, that helps mitigate that. Now, now is the time, if you do have that thought in your head, hey, maybe I could bump up my monthly sustaining membership for Neighborhood House. That's also incredibly helpful, a one-time gift, whatever works. If you commit to $85 a month or a one-time gift of $1,000 or more annually, you're going to become part of this Neighborhood House Sparklight Circle. The Sparklight Circle. It's a special group of supporters who receive additional recognition and engagement opportunities throughout the year. Again, that's $85 a month, if you can swing that, or $1,000 annually. Again, think of the impact that will make on Neighborhood House. And right now, if you join the Sparklight Circle, your gift is going to be doubled, again, by that anonymous donor. So if your employer also matches your charitable giving, please remember to request that on behalf of Neighborhood House. And I'm going to pause now to help get the donation juices going, give people a chance.
Well,
you know
it's been going, let me just tell you, because we have another update, and we are now at $101,345. See, that's why we love y'all.
All right.
That's why we love you guys, because you guys, y'all,
awesome.
Y'all here.
I can feel that momentum. I can see people giving in their envelopes and online and on their mobile devices. I feel the energy in the room. Angel, I mean, we've maybe, do we have shout outs to give? Are we getting in with shout outs? Not right now, but we'll get some shout outs later. We'll get some shout outs later. Yeah, I mean, talk about some of the vital work, like how much a gift today can help a kid in the future. For example, the impact that a gift that's happening right now in this room, how much it means in the future for kids who come to Neighborhood House, for families who come to Neighborhood House, for people who need rental assistance who come to Neighborhood House.
It helps a lot. So even in my program, we have families that, because of the inflation crisis that we're having, are not able to make ends meet, and they're not able to pay their rent. And so we are able to kind of help them along the way by giving them food vouchers. We're able to, for some of our youth that are graduating, we're able to help buy their cap and gowns where they don't have to worry about it. We have youth that are trying to get certifications in, home health care, or they want to become an esthetician, or they want to become a lawyer, and all these wonderful things. And so a lot of the money that you guys are donating helps these youth surpass their wildest expectations, because a lot of kids are coming up and they're being told things like, you'll never amount to anything. You're never going to be able to live out the dream that you have for yourself because
like what Claudia said when
Exactly.
her high school counselor said she
Exactly.
wasn't college material. Think about all the little Claudias out there who are hearing that but are able to get that spark of hope and inspiration from Neighborhood House. Yeah. I think that right now, people are giving. There's energy in the room. I know that we've got some momentum going. nhwa.org/donate is the way to give. Those envelopes are coming around. And again, that $25,000 matching, that makes this moment so impactful. If we can maximize that gift, we don't want to leave any of it on the table. That's rough when you have to leave some of that on the table. So please think about how much that matching gift matters. I can see that donate here sign moving. There's people over there. I love it. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much, everybody who's been giving already. And just a final thought, I guess, Angel.
Yeah.
What do you want to leave us with here?
I just want to leave my final thought with just gratitude to every one of you guys that are here. Right now, we are now at $106,195.
All right.
So just a big gratitude from all of us here at Neighborhood House. We're just elated and just thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You are strengthening efforts in investment in diverse communities. You're ensuring that everybody, regardless of background or circumstance, has the opportunity to succeed. I mean, what you said, Angel, about just cap and gowns.
Yeah.
I mean, being able to be proud and stand up at your graduation ceremony with cap and gowns, thanks to your gifts right now. I also, once again, just want to thank our sponsors, amazing sponsors who have helped support this evening's wonderful event. Thank you so much to our sponsors who made this all possible. Thank you to our incredible speakers, Claudia Castro Luna, Janice Deguchi, Shiferaw, Ed Prince, Ikram Warsame, and performers, Kram Collab. And hey, do we have any updated? We're waiting for an updated tally. These tallies, as the money's coming in, we gotta let things develop here.
Yes.
We're trying to get towards this goal that is going to mean so much again for predictability, for what is happening at Neighborhood House, as again the volunteers for AmeriCorps are in jeopardy. The funding for Head Start is in jeopardy. Now is the time when community members can help, again, make things more predictable for this fabulous organization that means so much to the community. And, I just want everybody out there to know that we appreciate your gift so much as well tonight, and we appreciate you being here so much as well.
Thank you.
We have, before we get to the final tally, if we don't have quite the final tally yet, why don't we do the passport drawing, huh? Why don't we get this passport drawing done? And so this is the lucky folks who are going to receive a copy of Claudia Castro Luna's books. So we have, I guess, a drawing that's going to be coming up pretty soon. The box is happening.
I just know whoever wins those airline tickets, if you don't have nobody to go with you, just keep me in mind.
Okay, first up is passport drawing. Okay, passport drawing. Oh my gosh, I really have to be serious about this one. Okay. 2 passport drawings. 1. Going down in the stack. Okay. Okay, these are for the copies of Claudia Castro Luna's book, Manolita Sly or Marolita Sly? Thank you very much. And the other is Danya Clevenger. Danya. Is Danya here? Danya, going once, going twice. We have to draw another one if Danya's not here, so I'm just going to give another couple seconds. Danya Clevenger, are you here? Oh, shoot, Danya. Okay, I'm so sorry. We got to draw somebody who's here. Oh, gosh. Alexis Desjardins? Desjardins?
Woohoo!
Alexis?
All right, Alexis.
Yes.
Come
Excellent.
on down.
Excellent. All right. We've got another drawing. Another drawing coming up. This is the big one.
This is the big one.
This is the biggie, everybody. Yes. Okay, this is thanks to our partners at Alaska Airlines. 2 round-trip tickets. 2 round-trip tickets. Okay, this is the big drawing.
Don't forget about me, whoever wins.
There's a lot in here. Okay. Angel would like to go. I'm getting the sense that Angel wants a vacation. Okay, ticket number 26. Do you have ticket at 26? Oh, that was good though. You got all of us. Okay. Does anybody have ticket 26? We're gonna give it another couple seconds, because otherwise.
Oh, right here.
You have 26.
Oh, you got 2 games. Go ahead.
Hey.
You got 2 gifts, right?
I couldn't see my glasses in the light. I can't quite see.
Yes, you got.
Congratulations, ticket number 26. That's what you get. You buy raffle tickets. That's what you get.
Exactly.
You get better chances of winning, right?
Congratulations.
Thank you, ticket 26. Thank you to everybody who bought tickets. Thank you to our partners at Alaska Airlines. Thank you. Do we have a final tally yet? Or should we keep going?
We do have, so we are at 91% of our goal, and right now we have $114,295.
$114,295. Thank
Come
you.
through, all right.
And hey, on your way out, if you want to top that off, you want to bump up that monthly membership, we appreciate you so much.
Yes.
Everything that you heard tonight, all the staff that made this possible, the staff at Town Hall, thank you for your support of Neighborhood House's annual What Matters Most event. We look forward to seeing you all again. On your way out, you can pick up a treat provided by longtime Neighborhood House supporter Fran's Chocolates.
Woo-hoo.
Thank you, Fran's. Thank you, Angel.
Thank you, Libby.
Thank you for all the gifts tonight, everybody, and have a wonderful evening.
Drive safe.
Douleur,